Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
What's in the box? Say hello to my little friend! Show me the money!
Go ahead. Make my day.
What's going on, guys and gals? Welcome back to Good Real Hunting. It's your boy Brad. I got the Brett man here. We're ready to rock and roll with another episode. So today, I know you can't really see it because of the microphone, but we wanted to talk to you guys about the new Bond flick coming out, No Time to Die. We had a new trailer come out just a couple weeks ago, and you know, we've watched it several times since then, and we're both jacked about it. Very jacked, if I must say. Now it's supposed to come out November the 20th? November the 2nd? Is it 20th?
It's going to be November the 20th from what I saw on a Google search.
Okay.
And please, let's not let the coronavirus cancel this, because this was supposed to come out on my actual birthday weekend. And gosh almighty, I complained for weeks after that announcement.
Yeah, dude, it got delayed once, and you know it could get delayed again. It very well might, but right now, it's the biggest movie left of the year, essentially, that's coming out to theaters, and we're crossing our fingers that it doesn't get delayed. Very well could happen, but we're so jacked about it that we just want to go ahead and talk about it anyway. And we actually have a whole Bond series we're going to rock and roll with. This is going to kind of kick things off, but we're going to do several videos discussing Bond in general. We got the Bond collection here. We're going to talk about many things over the next couple of months until it's released. Now, obviously, October, Halloween Horror Month, is reserved for horror. But between now and the end of the month, and then once November rolls around, we're going to go pretty heavy with the Bond stuff. Assuming this thing still comes out, we may still do it anyway, just because we're so jacked about this one. But anyway, Brett, what's your impressions here? What are you excited about here with the new film coming out?
Well, man, I'm actually just really excited for the brand new characters we're going to get to see. We're going to see a brand new Bond, kind of like the new series of Bond agents. That I'm just kind of see the direction they're going to go. Of course, our boy 007 is just going to teach the newer generation that old dogs can still learn new tricks.
So we both just watched the trailer again just to kind of get refreshed on that. But we'll start off. I mean, the film's going to be directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga. Okay, now I butchered the heck out of that name. I know it. You know it. We all know it. But we're going to get past that point because we're excited about it. Now, I don't know. I mean, his filmography thus far has been, he hasn't done a lot of feature-length productions. But he did do True Detective back in the day, which, and he's still working on that, and that's absolutely phenomenal stuff. And most of you guys probably know he was originally, penciled in to do the first It movie with Pennywise, and he actually ended up writing the script for that. Now, as luck would have it, he ended up not doing that. I don't know exactly, what happened there, but I remember he was the name penciled in for that, and even back then, back when Pennywise was first coming out in 2017, he was somebody that people wanted to direct their flicks. So again, True Detective, I think he directed the first season. He produces it even still, which if you haven't seen that, it's phenomenal stuff. So that alone has got me excited. From the trailer we saw, I mean, it looks like they are totally freaking amping up the action, man, from the last couple movies. Now, Spectre was hit or miss. It was pretty good. Obviously, Skyfall was phenomenal. Now that's the different directors, but I'm excited to see what he can bring on the table for us. Now, the synopsis for this thing, you can't really tell much from the trailers as far as the story goes, but the synopsis, the info from 007.com, rather official source, if you will, states, in No Time to Die, Bond has left active service and is enjoying a tranquil life in Jamaica. His peace is short-lived when his old friend Felix Leiter, which is coming back from Jeffrey Wright, he's coming back from Casino Royale, and he was in Quantum of Solace. Felix Leiter from the CIA turns up asking for help. The mission to rescue a kidnapped scientist turns out to be far more treacherous than expected, leading Bond onto a trail of mysterious villain armed leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. Now, I don't know. I've done a little bit of research on kind of what the rumor mill is churning out, and I think I've heard somewhere at some point that this new technology is actually a pandemic kind of storyline, which I don't know. That might be why they delayed it to begin with, and it's still kind of a hot topic, obviously. But either way, I mean, that alone, that's got me pretty jacked. So what did you think about the trailer, Brett? Did you see anything that you liked in there?
Oh, there's a lot of things I liked about the trailer. Like I could tell that the score is just going to be incredible, which we are going to talk about the composer for this flick, and the cinematography just looks absolutely beautiful. And I agree with you as well that the action is just going to be like 10 times from what it was from Spectre, which that kind of is what disappointed me a little bit about Spectre, that the action kind of got dialed down a little bit and just more of a character development movie. But other than that, like the forest scene towards the end of that second trailer just looked awesome. I'm just kind of curious what they're going to do with that. I'm so much in love with the villain of this movie. I think they picked a perfect actor, and
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek, yeah,
Yeah.
because he has done a lot of great stuff like Mr. Robot and Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
Bohemian
Freddie Mercury
Rhapsody.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did a phenomenal job on that. And when I heard he got announced to be like the bad guy in this James Bond movie, just right in that minute, I said, "Shut up and take my money."
I did the same thing, dude. He's freaking awesome. And I realized in the last couple of the first two episodes, I say freaking a lot. So if I do that again, my apologies. But either way, he's awesome. He's got some skills. He's pretty he's pretty he's got a lot of diversity in his acting, I think, and I think it's gonna come through as a villain. I think he's gonna make a fine villain.
Yeah, and just the way that he looks too, kind of like with the little bit burnt part of his face, I think it's just a really nice touch.
I agree, and I'm excited about one thing I did like a lot about Spectre, and we'll get into Spectre farther into our Bond series, obviously. I like Spectre. To me, I mean, a little tyrant here, tirade on Spectre is I think it feels the most like a Bond movie of any of Craig's flicks. It kind of goes back to the
To the old roots.
the old formulas they used to use back in the
Yes.
day. But beside the point, what's her name? Leah Seydoux, which I also butchered, along with the director's name. She was one of my favorite parts of the movie. I thought she did a phenomenal job, and it looks like she's going to play a prominent role in this one as well, which kind of goes into the rest of the cast. It looks like they have some freaking awesome female actors coming into this one. Bond girls, and from the trailers, it looks like they're going to be heavy in the action too, which is great. I think they're going to freaking kick some ass, if you will, and it's going to be fun to watch. But yeah, I'm excited to see her come back and see her role, because she obviously, Bond in Craig's universe, the movies kind of they follow each other. It's kind of they're sequels. It's its own little storyline, unlike the old formula Bond, where it's like you forget the past and it's just a new story entirely. These follow each other, and obviously, like he had his girl in Vesper Lynn in Casino Royale, and then that kind of went down down the drain pretty quick, if you will.
Yeah, definitely got flushed, which is kind of ironic a little bit.
It is ironic seeing that she drowned and all. But she's coming back. Leah is anyway. Her character in Spectre, I think, kind of connected. They had good chemistry in the movie, and on a character level, they connected to Bond more so. Well, maybe not more so, but the first female to really kind of hold his attention since Vesper. So that was cool. You can tell that he cares about her, and I'm just kind of excited to see how things transpire between them. So she was an important part of the last one. I'm excited. You got Naomi Harris coming back as Moneypenny. So that's going to be good. Hopefully she has a bigger role in this one than she did in Spectre. But Moneypenny never really had that big of a. I mean, obviously she's important to the franchise, but
Yeah, it had a big part in Skyfall, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, but just back in the old classic Bond days, is that Moneypenny never really had that big of a role. So if she didn't get a big role in this movie, I would actually be okay with that.
Yeah, and that would make sense as far as the Bond formula goes. She's usually kind of a small part, but Naomi Harris is so talented. It was awesome seeing her a lot in Skyfall before we even knew she was Moneypenny. So now it would be good. She's there, I think, and Jeffrey Wright is another guy who I really, really dug as Felix Leiter in Casino Royale and Quantum Solace. They had a pretty good chemistry. And Christoph Waltz is coming back, and he looks like he's going to play a pretty good role in this, but it's hard to say. I was a little bit disappointed with his role in Spectre just because he didn't come in until pretty late in that movie. So hopefully he's somewhat prominent. I know you don't want to steal the spotlight from Rami Malek, Rami Malek, Rami Malek, whatever you want to call him, but hopefully he does play a good role in that. So what are your thoughts on the cast, and what do you think we'll see out of them?
Well, the big thing I just wanted to point out real quick is an actress called Ana de Armas. I recognized her from Knock Knock, which is a movie with Keanu Reeves. We watched that flick, I would say, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Was she one of the girls in that movie?
Yeah, she was one of the crazy bitches in that movie. But she did a great job in that. And yeah, oh gosh, I would say we'll have to talk about that when we do like a Keanu Reeves episode. But
yeah,
going back to her, when I saw her in the trailer, she just looks kind of like exactly looks the part of a Bond girl, and I'm looking forward to see what kind of action she does in this movie, and just kind of like what she ties into the story. Like, I'm sure it's not going to be as big as Leah's role is going to be, but I feel like she'll still be a crucial part. I would say maybe like the middle part of the movie.
Yeah, I think so too. Was she the one in the trailer doing the freaking kick-ass action sequence there with?
Yeah, she was in the purple dress.
Okay. When he tosses the gun over and he said, salute.
When you're ready. Salute.
And they do the shot. Yeah, dude,
awesome.
I can't wait to see the action. Let's get back to the action for just a minute. Actually, do you have anything else you want to say on the cast?
For just one last cast person is Lashonda Lynch. Again, just kind of like being like a new 00 agent. I'm really looking forward to her. To me, she just looks like fierce and just nothing is going to stop her. Like kind of like even a more aggressive 007, while James Bond is just like the calm, collective, smooth. And then when shit hits the fan, that's when he goes all crazy. So I'm looking forward to see kind of like her and James and 007 just butting heads to each other and just kind of learn to work together to beat the enemy. That's what I'm most looking forward to.
I'm glad you said that because I didn't even mention her when I was looking through this. And from the trailer, she looks like she's going to have a big part as well. For sure. She's going to be integral to the plot, I think, to move things forward. And I'm pretty jacked about her as well because she looks like she's going to tear it up out there.
Yeah, and the last two cast people I want to talk about too that are coming back is Q and Mr. M.
Oh yeah, dude, I like both of those guys.
Which we can't mention his name. Is he who must not be named?
Freaking! Oh, should I say it, dude? It's Voldemort, dude.
No, oh, God. No, I'm just kidding. No. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, that was bad luck.
I think we're safe. Like that's fiction. We're in the nonfiction world, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be okay to say it.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited. He's done a very good job. He came on board. He didn't show up until Skyfall.
Skyfall.
Yeah, and he's done a really good job taking over the role for Judi Dench. Of course she can't be replaced, but yeah, I think he's done a pretty good job. He's a fine actor, and Q was good too, man. I'm down to see some more Q. So I think cast-wise, I think they've got a pretty good thing lined up. I'm really excited to see where they take the story and kind of just laying the groundwork going forward. Now, going back to the action sequences, I mean, they look like they are phenomenally shot, like some of the best action we've seen in some time. Mm-hmm. You get the part in the trailer where they're on the bridge and the little car chase thing, and he freaking.
And I'm looking forward to that.
And the little bungee or the rope, that. That looks freaking awesome, man.
That kind of looked like a flashback to GoldenEye too, when Pierce Brosnan jumped off that dam with the bungee thing.
Exactly. It looks like it's going to flow really well, and hopefully because the action's really stepped up in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You get you have all these films now, like Atomic Blonde was one, and the new movie Extraction this year. I know I'm missing one right now, but they both of those had these 10, 15-minute one take shots that freaking just went on, and it really immerses you in that. So hopefully we can see some of that in here. But if not, I mean, it looks like the action is going to be directed fine either way. It doesn't look fake. It looks legit. It looks like it flows, and I'm excited to see. Yeah, we got a glimpse of the action. Hopefully, they didn't show us too much in the trailers. Hopefully, those are small pieces of very large action sequences. So, I'm sure they will be. So I'm jacked about that. It's definitely going to have, from the looks of it, it's going to have more action than Spectre. Skyfall even had, it had its moments of action, but it was more of a character
development.
Yeah, it was a character-driven flick as well. So I'm excited about that. Anything you want to say on that, or is there anything else from the trailer that really stood out?
And it's actually while you were talking too, I would probably say one of my main concerns about this movie is from the second trailer. Yes, it did look awesome, but it did show like a lot of things going on. And as like you were saying, the flow of the movie, like the flow of the action, I'm more just probably a little bit worried about the flow of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like is it going to be like, the pacing? Is it going to be like action, and low, like action, low? Like that would probably be my little concern. But other than that, I'm just so looking forward to it, and I'm ready for November to get here.
Oh, I cannot wait. Now, how do you feel about Daniel Craig? Because I know after Spectre came out, he had the infamous line where he said that he would rather cut his wrist than play Bond again. And you could tell in Spectre that his performance was fine, but it was stale compared to the, Casino Royale and Skyfall. You could tell that he's just kind of doing it for money these days. From the trailer and from what you've seen, do you think that's going to be a problem? Do you think he's going to be his old self again, or do you think he's here to collect some money and get out the door?
Pretty much like Jamie Lee Curtis in the Halloween franchise. It
Exactly.
shows get your cash and go.
Yeah.
Inspector, you were absolutely right. Daniel Craig's performance kind of seemed like a little bit more lackluster, kind of like he was burned out, which Spectre came out in 2015, and now we got this new Bond movie like 5 years later. I think Daniel Craig is fully rested, and I think when the cast was announced and the script and the story, I feel like he's really bought into this particular James Bond movie. So I think he's going to be ready to go and see the Daniel Craig to the level of Casino Royale and Skyfall. That's
Why I've come back to play.
just my opinion.
He looks good in the trailer. There's moments in the trailer where he's really providing a good performance.
If we don't do this, there will be nothing left to save.
And at least the second trailer, and I think you're right. I think he's gonna be fine. I think the quote of him cutting his wrist and all that is, I think it's lost in translation a little bit, because he said it immediately after Spectre was filmed, and they had some production issues with that, and I think he was just tired of it at the moment, and he was kind of burnt out. And I didn't even know if he was going to come back or not. For the longest time, they were throwing out names of people that was going to replace him before this movie was even announced. So I was like, I think he's probably done. He kind of had a pretty decent send off in Spectre, I thought, if he was going to be done. I know. But I think I don't know enough. When the movie was first announced, they were doing this, and Daniel Craig was coming back. I was a little concerned, just based on his attitude and whatnot. But from what I've seen so far, it looks like it's going to be a heck of a good ride, and it's going to be a good time, and I think he's going to be pretty solid too. So, from what I've seen, I'm fairly optimistic that he's going to do okay, and it's going to be a good time. Now, he is getting up there in age. He's what is he, 40? What do you think about his age and the ability to play? I'm going to look up.
Oh, to play the Bond character?
Yeah.
Honestly, just again, like for
so he's 52.
Lashonda Lynch. Yeah, Lashana Lynch, you know, her being like the new kind of like set of 007 agents or 00 agents.
Yeah.
And he plays kind of like the old original 00 agent. I think it actually just works better for Daniel Craig. And age is not really an issue for me because if you're just a good actor, you can make anything work.
You're right. So just for reference, Craig is 52 now. I went back and looked, and I don't know if you've seen this Bond movie or not. View to a Kill was Roger Moore's last movie. He was 57. He's 5 years older than Craig. But he in that movie, the age was such a factor. He looked so old. Now Craig has aged better than Roger Moore, but he looked so old, and it was so weird at times with the way because he's hooking up with ladies like half his age in that movie, and it was odd. Um, but I think it is a 5 year difference, and in the 50s, 5 years makes a big difference. I think from what I've seen, you could tell he was a little older in Spectre, and obviously that was 4 years ago now. So I think he is a little. He's definitely at the end of the line as far as Bond's concerned. I think. But I think he's going to do okay from what I've seen in the trailers. I don't think it's going to be a concern. And he still looks. I mean, he still looks great for his age and everything. So, and he's a phenomenal actor. I mean, he's comparing him to Roger Moore as apples and oranges. No offense to Roger Moore. R.I.P. He was one of the best. But
Yeah, so let me ask you this question. So when you say like you don't mind like his age and like because again like he's such a good actor, but do you think that in this movie, No Time to Die, he dies?
Well, that was one of the questions I was going to bring up later is how because we all know this is going to be his last Bond movie for sure, and they've done this thing since Casino Royale where they're all sequels in their own little timeline. They all work together to make one consecutive storyline for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think they have to find a way to send him off in a respectable manner. I don't know what that's going. If he's going to die, that leaves the question of where does the franchise go from there after the movie's over with, because he's going to be done. Are they going to keep this sequel idea up, and are they going to keep these storylines consecutive like this? Or are they gonna find a way to write him off and then continue the same storyline with somebody else, kind of taking over the role of 007? Or but then you can't use Bond anymore. I mean, we've all heard the thing that James Bond is a code name, but with it, Skyfall proves that's bogus because they went back to his old So you can't use the Bond name anymore. If you were to do that, you could still use 007, which is fine. And I know they've got a new 007 now in the movie. Which is fine, but what do you think they're going to do as far as sending him off? Do you think he is going to die, or do you think they're going to he's going to go retire happily with his girl, Sado?
What do we do now?
Yes, they do. Actually, that's kind of like what I'm concerned with about this movie is how they will write off Bond, because I thought in Spectre, I thought that was the absolute best way to write off Daniel Craig's Bond character.
Yeah, and they could have carried it over.
Yeah, exactly. So I am a little concerned by that, but I would think that he will make the ultimate sacrifice to save the newer cast of characters. I feel like that would be an awesome way to go. And if they want to continue the story, I think they can. Especially they could say, "Well, we got these new 00 agents, so meet our brand new leader of the 00 agents." Or you can just start completely over, which I feel like that's what I would prefer if they were going to do more James Bond movies. To get a brand new actor and a brand new story and a brand new trilogy or however they would want to do it.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Yeah, if you wanted to keep James Bond as a character, you would have to pretty much end the whole franchise, right? With the whole sequence of events that they're doing right now. Mm-hmm. Put that up in a little bow and just call it a day, and then reboot it down the road with a new actor and go back to the old formula or whatever they want to do if they want to start a new sequence of movies. if they want to keep this storyline, I mean, the possibilities are endless. If you want to just keep it 007, the new girl that's 007 could carry over for a few movies or whatever. I mean, and I've heard, doing the female James Bond thing for some time, and I I wouldn't want to do it if if you change the name to Jane Bond and it's Jane Bond and it's her thing. But if you did it naturally and she became 007 with a new name, not James Bond, not Jane Bond, nothing like that, Jamie Bond or Jane Bondet or whatever. You just created a new character entirely and made some movies that kind of followed this storyline with her. That could work. That would be a natural progression. And then maybe sometime down the road you could reboot. You could bring James back to kind of get back to the novel side of things from and go that route.
Or you could just bring back Jinx, Halle Berry.
Oh my gosh, dude! When they freaking went down with the helicopters and stuff. Oh my gosh. That movie was awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. So they were actually going to talk about doing a Jinx movie too. And I was like, just no.
Jinx would have been good, but if you set up a character through, if it's natural, and you set up a good character in this next movie, you could definitely make a spinoff at least for a new 007 to kind of follow the same. Because I just don't know how you're going to follow the same storyline without doing. You'd have to have a new character. I think you couldn't do James Bond because you recast as a younger Bond, and it's like that would be weird if you followed this same storyline from Casino Royale to now. So you'd have to, if you wanted to follow this storyline and keep the same actors coming back and stuff as far as M goes and Q and all that, and you didn't want to just completely wash it out, you could get a new character to take over the role of 007. It'd be a new name, and that would be really weird. But it would at least follow, a chronological timeline pretty well. And again, you can always bring back. I just don't know how you're going to bring James Bond back and keep this storyline without it being a recast, and that to me would be kind of weird. But either way, that's kind of moving on beyond this movie. But what do you think about all that?
Actually, if they were just going to start completely fresh and completely over, I'm with you. I wouldn't mind a female James Bond if they just, did it the right way versus being forced.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody should have an equal chance to play such an iconic character. Which, don't call the Lady Bond Janet Bond or Janet Bond. Yeah, I was don't do that. Don't force it. Just make it actually be a great time to make it a brand new character in the 007 franchise. Or I'm really high on if they just get a brand new Bond. I will actually hope that they do Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
His name gets tossed around a lot about being a new Bond, which I am absolutely game for. I think he would do a phenomenal job.
I think he would too. My only concern about him in particular is he's 48 years old, so he's only 4 years younger than Daniel Craig. So he would be fine for a couple movies, but then you start running into that age thing again where it gets weird.
Yeah, that's
now, if you threw him in there right now in his prime, phenomenal. He would do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, you could even do 1 or 2 movies. Yeah, like you said, his age. I really think you can do a franchise. But if you just want to throw out 1 or 2, that would be just fine with me.
Be freaking awesome, man. He's such a great actor, and he's had a lot of good roles, but he hasn't had anything that's really been. Sorry, he hasn't had anything that's been. From what I can remember, I remember him he was in the Dark Tower movie, and he was in what's that Pacific Rim one where they're fighting the aliens and
Pacific Rim, and he is also a big part too of the Marvel universe too. He plays Heimdall.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's had a lot of great roles. He hasn't had anything as iconic as Bond, and I think he could definitely carry that platform for sure because
he just looks the part.
He looks the part. He's smooth. He's suave. He's got it going on. Handsome man. I think he could definitely carry that role out at least for a few years, 2-3 movies maybe, until he gets up there in the mid-50s, and then at that point you might need to look at recasting. But yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any other name or that you would like to see play the 007 role?
Yeah, and we could probably do a whole video on this, honestly. But another
Yeah,
one would.
we really could. So if you want to wait and let our viewers tune in for that episode, we can.
Let's do
Or if
another
you
video.
just want,
I
yeah.
actually have a few names tumbling around. I'd love to talk. I'd love to talk about each of them.
Okay,
So
so we are going to say that for a future episode. So stay tuned, and we'll release more details on that.
yeah, it'll be a part of our Bond series. So we should get back to No Time to Die, the new one coming out. And
Go right ahead. And can we talk about the composer, please?
oh, we're definitely gonna talk about freaking Hans Zimmer. Now, real quick, before we leave the last question, what do you think? You think they should kill him off? Do you think he should go retire happily with his girl again, kind of like at the end of Spectre, and kind of just go live off, in his own life, like Paul Walker did after he died in the Fast and Furious? They sent him off.
Like the best way I've seen any character in movie history.
Yeah, he got sent off, and he's out there just living his best life. Kind of like a scenario like that, or do you think what do you think is the best way to send his character off?
See, again, that just depends on how they want to do it. Like, if they are going to use the brand new cast for future Bond movies, I would say like he's going to have to pass the torch and take one for the team and die by saving them. Or if they don't have any plans to reuse those cast of characters, again, Spectre did the best job of sending him off in a good way. So again, I'm concerned, but I would like to see him just nicely retire because, again, he's done all he can for the organization and just let the man be.
Yeah, you could bring him back later down the road if you kept the storyline up as for a cameo.
Yeah, like for an awesome cameo.
Yeah.
Like, that would be awesome.
Okay, I agree with that. I think the way they left it off in Spectre was perfect, and that would have been a good ending for him. So something like that, but maybe even better, I think.
Right.
So let's get into. Let me look up. Obviously, Hans Zimmer's doing the score. Now the score is always pretty good in the Bond movies. But man, freaking Hans Zimmer though, I mean, holy cow, man, he's one of the best ever out there. He's up there with John Williams in my book. We're talking. I just actually before we started the show, I just watched Interstellar, and that score is easily the best score from a Christopher Nolan flick, in my opinion. It is amazing. So, that alone, obviously, he's done many more movies he's done most of Christopher Nolan's movies and Gladiator and Inception, and well, that's back into Christopher Nolan, but Pirates of the Caribbean, you name it, he's done it, and he's one of the best. So I cannot wait to see what kind of natural music he puts into a Bond movie. Like, we got the Bond theme. Maybe he will do some kind of rendition of that, and I think that would be, that's got me excited. I cannot wait to see what he does in that. So what do you think overall about him coming in? I just think this is going to freaking top any Bond score that we've seen in a long time, like going back to old school Bond, I think.
Shoot, the only real thing with my boy Zimmer here is he did my all-time favorite Disney movie, The Lion King. So I'm always going to be down for anything that he does in a movie. So yeah, he's done a lot of Christopher Nolan movies. I actually see his name on here. He's done Dawn of Justice. So he's got some like big like blockbuster resume or movies to his resume. But I've very looking forward to see what he can do in the Bond universe, and I just can't wait.
I agree, man. Like I said, it's going to be, when you compare, like, Bond scores they're good. But usually it's some rendition of the traditional Bond theme and some action sequence music, generic stuff, nothing crazy. But when you put Hans Zimmer in there, all bets are off, man. Have you seen Interstellar?
I have not, which I've at least seen half of the Christopher Nolan movies. I need to see the other half so I can make a list on that, because that's just a long time coming, because Christopher Nolan's actually one of my favorite directors out there right now.
Yeah, and the Hans Zimmer, his scores can make you feel so many emotions for the simplest of scenes. And we'll get into that. I know we're going to do a video about scores here pretty soon and soundtracks overall, but I'm excited to see what he can put into this movie and just how much he can immerse you in that environment and get you emotionally invested into what's going on. So I think that has a big leg up on even Skyfall and Casino Royale, as far as sound goes, and that's a huge part of the movie. So I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah, and before we go to anything else you want to get into, the David Arnold did the score for Casino Royale, and Thomas Newman did Skyfall and Spectre. And I thought both of them did a really good job too, but I believe Zimmer is going to be the best one, yeah, for the Daniel Craig part of 007.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Now getting into the Bond theme. You got your girl Billie Eilish coming in to do the. Have you heard the song yet? They posted it a while back ago.
I actually intentionally not to hear it just because like anything I don't know going into a movie, I'm more anticipated and I'll get a better reaction towards it.
Exactly. I think. Now I heard the song when it came out. I've listened to it one time and I thought it was solid. It's going to be a good. It's going to be a good Bond song. Now they've really knocked it out of the park since Casino Royale. They had Chris Cornell do that one, and then the Quantum of Solace one. I don't remember who did it. It was decent. It was fine. I mean, it was on par for Quantum of Solace. But then Adele comes back for Skyfall, and that was good.
Yes, and that was my all-time. That's probably my all-time favorite intro song to a 007 movie.
And then Sam Smith came back for Spectre. He knocked back, but he came in for Spectre, and that was another phenomenal one. I remember when that song came out, I rocked it out multiple times. And I think the new one from Billie Eilish is going to be good too. That's going to kind of fit the mold. And I think storyline, we talked about the villain. We talked about the cast, the returning cast, the new cast. The storyline briefly, we got limited synopsis here from 007.com. I think that story-wise, I don't know what to expect from that, and I really don't want to know what to expect. I want to go in knowing very little about the plot and just go for the ride. But I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be a good little Bond story for sure. And I don't know. What else? Do you have anything else you want to talk about regarding No Time to Die?
For No Time to Die, I have nothing left to input. I feel we just kind of like did as most as we can due to the trailer and from your source from 007.com. Again, I'm just pumped for it. Again, I was so heartbroken when they canceled it in April just because that was my birthday month and I was going to make a whole big birthday day with 007 when they canceled it. I just got really disappointed. So November cannot get here soon enough.
I can't wait. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed, man. My fingers are crossed about this one. It is the one thing this year that we got looking forward to finish out the year in the cinema. Because Tenet was awesome. It was a great time to get back into theaters, but freaking No Time to Die is one I've been looking forward to. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I was a little sketched out at first because Spectre was kind of lacking some of the heart that they had in Skyfall and Casino Royale, but a good time nonetheless. And then you parlay that with you combine that with Craig not really feeling the role anymore, and I was a little worried, but from this last trailer, I'm pretty optimistic to see where things go, and just can't wait to watch it. Hopefully, again, it doesn't get delayed. But either way, you can bet that Bert and I, we are jacked about getting into the rest of the franchise between here and there, and talking more about the movies as a whole. There's 25 coming out. This is the 25th one. There's 25 now with this one coming out. So there's a lot of things we can talk about and a lot of things we've discussed already, and we are jacked big time to bring it to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm looking forward to diving into this Bond series that we have planned for, and what did you say? Kind of like they would be our viewers can look forward to. Like I know we talked about like ranking the intros and the songs, and is there anything else you want to kind of like reveal to our viewers? What can we do?
So I'd like to do an episode talking about the different actors that's portrayed the role. Maybe doing like a ranking of our favorites. We could each do a ranking of our favorite actors that's played Bond.
Okay.
I think that would be good. We could probably rank
the Bond girls.
We could do that. We could do the Bond girls. We could do the Bond flicks in general. It might be hard. We might break it up into era actors or whatever, or we could just do the whole thing. It doesn't really matter. And I would like to talk about an episode about who we think should replace Bond going forward, or where the franchise should go after this movie is over with. I'd like to dedicate an episode to that. Maybe we talk about some of the best Bond games. GoldenEye.
Oh, GoldenEye. So that's like that. No contest.
There's some other good ones out there though, but we could do an episode on that. Kind of a shorter episode. Just kind of talking about how the franchise has evolved over the years and whatnot, and just kind of how it's changed. There's plenty of things we want to talk about, guys and gals.
I'll go ahead and throw it in there real quick. Bond villains. Like if you're going to do Bond, you got to do Bond villains.
We at least got to crack the top 10 of the Bond villains. Some of them are pretty atrocious.
Yeah.
I.e., freaking what's his name? Christopher Walken's character in View to a Kill. Golly.
Or what about your boy Dave Bautista in Spectre?
Now I like Bautista in Spectre, dude. He freaking got his. They were riding the train and they were. Yeah, he was actually one of my favorite henchmen out there.
So, but no, but yeah, again, I'm just so excited and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait. I'm excited to finish out the Bond. Start digging into the Bond series that we're doing. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll put out some great content for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that in mind, we are going to wrap up this episode of Good Real Hunting, and we are looking forward to seeing y'all next time. Take care.
Hit that ending, Bert.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Hasta la vista, baby.
In case I don't see ya.
Good afternoon, good evening,